much right after today, maybe at the end of this lesson, we'll start revising everything in year 11. So all 11 or so chapters. All right. Most of what we're going to look at today, should be revision. So I think we can do the beginning bits fairly quickly. The first one was find the median. Median is the middle number, right? The only trick to finding the median, it has to be in order from smallest to largest. And then really you'll just cross it out. So this is already in order, cross out, cross out, cross out, cross out, and you're left with 8, which would be the middle. If you're left with 2 in the middle, then I think you understand you'll just find the average of those 2. So if I had a question like this, I know you're taught to cross out 1 and cross out the end, but a quicker way, if you know they're already in order, would just be, let's just assume we cross out 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes sense, doesn't it? 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, perfect, thank you. And then you got 7 and 8. Halfway between 7 and 8 is 7.5. Any questions there?
No.
So it's funny, right? You guys got taught this one. I don't know how many students have not been taught just to cross out like a whole bunch of 5 or 10 numbers if you wanted to. So don't be afraid, you can do that. It's not a problem. Now, find the mode. Mode is the most occurring. So most occurring number, look at them, 2, 4, 5, 5, and a 5. There's 3, 5, so 5 would be the mode. 5 is the most occurring. 9 is the most occurring, and so on. So that's easy. We did cumulative frequency. So again, try to link it to something you've learned. And remember what we're meant to do with cumulative frequency.
It's like you have to add, like,
Yep.
So the first one will be 3 and then the next one will be 9. So you just
Nice. Add what?
The frequency to
That's
each.
the idea. So cumulative just is another way of saying accumulate. If you're accumulating something, you're adding or you're collecting. So first number is 3 for your frequencies. And then you just go 3 plus 6, 9 plus 8, 17 plus 7, 24 plus 5, 29 plus 4. Easy. Now, the question says, find the mode. Well, the mode would be the most occurring one. Which number occurred the most? This one right here. So 3. 3 would be the mode. Right? Now, to find median, come on, you're not going to go and list out everything. So there is a way to find the median using a table. Now, Bianca, I think you might have learned this at school already. So do you know how to do it? Has your teacher explained that?
Yeah.
Yep. What do we do?
You find like the total of frequency and then divide that by 2. And then it's like, say if it's like the 13th or 14th school, whatever, you just go through the table and then...
So it became 16 and a half.
Okay, yeah, so it'd be like the 16th school or like the 17th school. And then you just go through the frequency and like add. So 3 and 6 is 9 and then plus the 8.
So is it the 16th score or is it the 17th score now?
It's right between them. So whatever like those numbers fall into.
It's a tricky one. See, I think the answer to this is it's actually the 17th one. So I think the answer is 3. Now I'll tell you the way this works sometimes. So, all right, to everybody else. So the way we learn median, perfect. Look at it, this was easy. But you're not always going to get easy numbers. I mean, what if there was like 33 numbers? Or what if there was 330 numbers? You're not going to go list out every single one and cross it out. So there is a way of finding median from a table. And the way it works is the cumulative frequency column. Right? So you do what we did before, which is accumulating your frequencies. You've worked it out that it's 33. You want to find the median, which is halfway. So you get 33 and you divide it by 2. That tells you it's in 16 and a half, or the 16 and a half score. Now there is no such thing as 0.5 of a score. So you're meant to round up. So it's not between the 16 and 17. It's actually the 17th score. And the 17th, so just so we understand how these work and what these numbers mean, 3 means 1 is in the first 3 places. That's how we read this. Okay. 2 is in place 4 to place 9.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get that? Everybody else? Do you girls get that? And then 3 is in place 10, because that will be the next number, to 17. And then 4 is in place 18 to 24. 5 is in place 25 to 29, and then 6 is in place 30 to 33. Do we get that?
Yep.
Dahlia, Cara, Lisa, do you girls get that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
think so.
this tells you the location. That's the way you got to look at it. So when you found that it's the 17th score, the idea is, well, okay, the 17th score would be here because these are all the numbers from 10 to 17, which are all 3s. So the 17th score is 3. So the median is still 3. All right, let's do it again, and you'll start to pick this up. But really important, because a lot of kids don't know how to find median using a table. So once you think you're good at the first type, then that's it. You don't need to worry about it. Start focusing on the second type, which would be from a table. So again, cumulative frequency, you start with 12, then you just keep adding. 12 plus 19, 31. 31 plus 18, 49. 49 plus 15, 64. 64 plus 10, 74. 74 plus 13, 87. Again, to find the mode is the most occurring. Which one occurred the most? Frequency, 12, 19, 18, 15. This one occurred the most, so my mode is 6. My median, to find my median, I do 87 divided by 2. That gives me a location of 43.5. So that means it's the 44th score, in other words. If it's the 44th score, where would that be? Would that be, is it number 5? Is it number 6? Is it 7? Or is it 8? The 44th score. 5, 6, 7, or 8?
7.
Why?
Because 12 plus 31 is 43, and you have to go an extra 1.
12 plus 31 is 43, plus you get an extra 1. Okay, yeah, I see your logic there. Okay, this is how I think about it. I think about it that these numbers here are where these numbers are ending. So 5 is number 1, the first score, till the 12th score, right? So if you had to list this out, it'll be 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 12 times. So it's the first score to the 12th score. 6 is score number 13 to 31. 7 is score 32 to 49. And obviously, where is 44? 44 is somewhere in between here, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So your median must be 7. All right, Alyssa, any questions there?
No.
Alyssa, let's try this next one together, you and I.
Okay.
So cumulative frequency, this is 8. 8 plus 8, 14, 21, 31, and then 36.
Yeah.
Your mode, what's your most occurring number?
19.
19 is your score. That's the most occurring score. Perfect.
Yeah.
The median. To find it, you find the last number here, 36, and then
Yep. Divided by 2.
divided by 2. That gives you the 18th score.
Yeah.
Where would the 18th score be?
18.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And can you see that? You got to eventually start seeing that without me writing these, obviously. because you're not going to have that all the time. You just got to go, okay, up to 14 is here. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Up to 8, up to 14, up to
Up to
21,
21.
which means if it's up to 21, well, the 18th score would be 18.
18. Yeah.
Perfect. Kara, let's do this one as well. Finish it off. 5 plus 7 is 12, 20, 34, 40. Now this one's a really unique one, and you're going to see why in a second. Mode, what's the mode, Kara?
One sec, my calculator hasn't been working. I've been trying to get it to work.
That's it. Well, what's your mode? You can just see it for here. Which one's the most occurring number?
Oh, most occurring is 19.
19. Because it occurred 14 times, right?
Yeah.
Median. All right, what's 40 divided by 2?
20.
Now listen carefully. If you get a score, so this is something that they don't keep telling you, but if you get a score, you see how here, when we did this first question, we got 16.5. Then we rounded it up to 17, right? We rounded this up and we got this number, and I said, yep, it's perfect. The reason why that happens because of the rounding up is because this is an odd number. You know, if you have an odd number of scores, as you cancel, you're always going to be left with one in the middle. Yes? When you get a question here that's even, and then 40 divided by 2 is 20, which is also not a problem. But if you get that, and it's a number that is actually in this column, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the score is not the 18th score. It is the 18th and 19th score, which means it's 18.5. So it's actually between this and this. So that's a very unique case you've got to remember. So one more time. Imagine 4 numbers. Instead of me listing out 40 numbers, imagine you had 4 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, what's going to happen all the time? You're always going to end up
With 2 in the middle.
with 2 in the middle. You will. Like even if you've got 5, 6, if you cross them out, you'll end up with these 2 in the middle. So naturally, if you've got even numbers, you will end up with 2 in the middle. Now, so was this. Look, this one here. This was 36. That's an even number. How come I didn't go and do all that stuff? Well, we didn't because if you found it's the 18th score, which is in here, well, what's the score before the 18th score? Well, it's still 18. What's the score after the 18th score? It's still 18. So it didn't bother us. But when you get a number that's in here, specifically in these numbers, then you got to watch out because this is up to 20. So this is the 13th to 20th score, but then the 21st score to the 34th score is here. So between the 20th and the 21st, you'll be left with these 2 numbers, 18 and 19. So the answer would be 18.5. Tara, make sense? And girls?
Yep.
Does that make sense as well? Like, be careful. That's a really unique one. I'll be putting that in my book because you could go through all your textbook questions and it won't make a difference if you don't actually understand that there's only these ones. That's it. There's case 1 where this you just round up and it's not a problem because it's odd. There's case 2 which didn't even have an issue because it was just within the boundary. Case 3 even but didn't have an issue because it's still within the boundary or wherever it was. Case 4 is on the boundary and it's an even number, which is a problem because it's got to be that one and the one after. So it's the 18th and 19th score, which means we're down to 18.5.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, if I was to draw this up without drawing it up, there's 40 numbers. So imagine 1 to 19 is somewhere here. 22 to 40 are here. You would have crossed out all of this. Yep, you would have crossed out all of this. 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have crossed out all of that. You'd have crossed out all of that. You would have been left with 20 and 21. Not, score we're talking about. the 20th and 21st score, which would be 18 and 19. And then the idea is you would have added 18 plus 19 and then divided by 2. And that's what you've got to do here. But it's just a bit harder to see because everyone goes, oh, 20 is just there. So why isn't it just 18? And the reason why it's not is because always when you've got an even number, you're going to have 2 left in the middle. And they're like, well, then you didn't do that here. But I didn't do that here because this was an odd number of numbers. So as you cross out, you actually will be left with 1 in the middle. And that's fine for it to be that one. Okay. Any questions there?
No.
Well, let's move on. So that's that one. All right. Measures of central tendency. Use your calculator to find the mean. Mean is average. I could show you on your calculator, but I'm sure that's an exercise your teachers can show you. And if you do have any issues putting it into your calculator, you let me know. I'll help you out. But there is a quick way of your calculator for your calculators to do it. So right now, I don't think we need it, so I'm just going to skip it. Unless we need it, then I'll do it. Use a calculator to find the mean of each distribution correct to 1 decimal place. I will show you this one. So it's the same as the top one, but it's obviously got frequency, so I'll show you this. Let me make sure I remember how to do it myself. Press that, and then press that, and that, and then cool. All right, let's learn how to always get our calculator into stat mode first. Do we all have our calculators handy?
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea is stat mode. Okay, to get into stat mode, you got to set up your calculator. So setup is shift, and then nope, I'm wrong. You just got to change the mode. So the mode, just press the mode button, no shift. Mode, and then it says 2 for stat. Press it, press 2. Then you see a whole bunch of stuff. When you see all that bunch of stuff, I'm pretty sure you just press 2 stat. You press AC. So just press the AC button, which is on top of your divide. So all of us should have stat on our calculator on the top instead of it saying math.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Press your fraction button just to see something. Press your fraction button. What do we see?
Oh.
Oh.
A backwards L.
Yes. We should see this thing.
Yeah.
That used to be the old division signs. Until they made it into obviously a fraction sign like this and whatever. Now, when you see that, you'll know your calculator is in stat mode, and be careful because when it's in stat mode, a whole lot of other stuff will change.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to always go back to math mode, which I'll show you in a second, but just that's a quick check to remember you're in stat mode. So if you ever see that, you're like, oh yes, I'm in stat mode. Crap, I've got to clear it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're in stat mode now. Once you're in that mode, you have to go to the actual stat button. The stat button is on top of 1 and it's in yellow. Look at the number 1, it's in yellow. So what do you got to press? You got to press shift 1. Shift 1. Now you're in all the stat mode. So you can play around with that, like learn what each button does, press 1. You can see that comes back to where you wanted before, which we pressed AC. So get rid of it, press AC again. Try it again now. Shift 1. Press 2. What do you see? You should see X and then a column and 1, 2, 3 and so on. Do we see that?
Mm-hmm.
Have I lost anyone?
Not
No.
yet.
Good.
No, not yet. Cool. Shift. So that's just to put X in. So if you wanted to put the average of these, that's how you would do it, right? For now. But anyways, keep going. It's good to learn all the buttons. Like I don't want to make it too strict. I just like teaching Shift 1. Shift 1. Press AC. Sorry, AC. Go back. Press AC. Always press AC to clear it before you press Shift 1. So AC, you should have nothing. Shift 1 again. All right. Press 3 this time. Let's see what that says. A whole weird stuff. You're never going to use 3. All good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Unless I'm wrong, but anyways, tell me. Shift 1. press 4. It should say var, VAR. Is that right?
Yeah.
VAR.
Yeah.
Let me know if you got a different word. 4. Now that one we will use. My one says N for 1. 2 says X with a little line. 3 says this, and then 4 you're never going to use, but it says this one here, sample set. So do we have 4?
Mm-hmm.
We're never going to use that one.
Okay.
So 1 is the number of terms, so number of like numbers or number of terms. It tells you how many numbers you just put in. This is the mean. That is called mean, and this is called standard deviation.
I did that the other day actually. Same dude.
Yes, instead of me teaching you, hey, memorize it, shift 1 and then press 3 or 4 for var or whatever, I don't like to do that. I like to say, get it to this point, and then when you're here, just play around and then you'll learn it. Like press shift 1 and then learn all the different buttons. Don't be so restricted. Like if you press 3 by accident and you see all those weird stuff, you've never seen it before, don't even use them. You'll just clear it and then start again. You press shift 1. So let's do that again. Press AC, back to nothing, press shift 1, press 4, and there's all the stuff you wanted, you know, number of numbers or number of frequencies, mean for number 2, and 3 is standard deviation. 2 and 3 we will use eventually. Press AC, get rid of it, go again, shift 1. I've got number 5. Does anyone not have a number 5?
I do.
Yeah, cool. 5. And then what does this say? Okay, read it. What does it say? What does your one say?
When you press into 5.
Yeah, press into 5.
So I have 1 is MINX.
Minimum of X.
Yeah, and then 2 is max.
Maximum of the X.
And then 3 is Q1.
Do you remember what Q1 stands
I
for?
know what these are.
Say it.
No, wait, I forgot. It's like the lower extreme, lower quartile.
Correct. These are quartiles.
Yeah.
And
I
then
did that
what does med stand for?
Median.
Median.
I remember this.
Your calculator can find the median, can find the mean. It can't find the mode because the mode is obviously, easy to identify, and it can find your standard deviation. But look, instead of me telling you, oh, learn 5 is this, don't do that. Just play. By accident, you were looking for, let's just say you were looking for median, and by accident you press 4. You'll know, oh yeah, these are not median. Go again. AC, shift 1. All right, yes, 5. Oh, there it is. I found it. It's fine. It's only, you're talking about seconds in an exam. It's not an issue. Instead of trying to make it really hard on yourself and trying to memorize, okay, I've got to memorize. To find min max, it's mode 2 stat AC shift 1 4 5 1 2. Are you serious? Who does that? Nobody does that. So don't memorize it like that. Just learn up to this stage, shift 1, and then the rest is all yours. Like you just play around and you'll know what you're looking for. Good. We'll get to quartiles and stuff soon.
Yeah.
But that will help. Now there's one extra thing you need to learn after shift 1. Can you see how here in these questions I've got X, which is the score. What's the other thing that I've got?
Frequency.
I've got frequency. Now there's no point of doing this, and I want to put in my data and I've got to put 1 5 times. Well, like I've got to put 5 14 times, like 5 5 5 5 5 5. There's got to be a better way, right?
The table on the calculator.
You've got to have a frequency column as well. Now to put a frequency column in, it works like this. So you don't always want a frequency column, but when you do, it works like this. So the extra bit, extra. You press shift. Now you've got to set it up. So you press shift, mode. Yes. You press down. So press down. What number do you think I'm going to say?
3, then 1.
3, which says stat.
That, and then 1.
And then frequency. Do you want to turn it on or off?
On.
And then once you press that, watch this. Go back to here, press shift 1, press 2 for the data, because that's the data we're going to put in. And what do you see now?
Oh, the table.
you'll see a 1, and then you'll see a frequency column. So press 1 equals, and then go to your right, change your frequency to 5. And equals is just like enter on your calculator. So hopefully you guys can do that. 1, 5. Go down to number 2, press 2 equals, and then go to the right, change that to 8 equals. Go to 3, that becomes 3, put it in, and then go to frequency, write 11. Okay. Everybody understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go to 4, put in 4, press equals, go to its frequency, put in 9, and let's stop there. We don't need to do more. Okay, once you've got it up to here, we're going to just find the mean of these numbers. Once you've got it up to there, that's it. Just press AC. You've got to always remember the AC button. Your teachers won't say it like this. I like to think this is the better way. Just press AC. Go on. Cool? Your data is stored. Don't stress. Press Shift 1. Now, we're going to press 4 for var, because the other ones are useless right now. We're going to press 2, and that should give me, press equals, 2 equals, of course, and it should give me 2.72727. Let me know if you didn't get that. Okay, then you press AC, then you press Shift 1, 4, and then you press 3. That would be standard deviation if you wanted that. Standard deviation, which we haven't done yet, just saying, will be 1.023, blah, 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 blah. Good. All right, any questions? So,
Nope.
this is a big one. Extra, shift mode down, 3, stat, 1, on. Okay. Class centers, we've already spoken about that. Yep, that's nothing. That's just all calculator work. Just remember, if you've got a class, you can't actually find anything to do with the class. You've got to find the class center. So add them up, divide them by 2. Add them up, divide them by 2. So that's 34, 34 half, 34, 17. 56, half 56, 28, and so on. All right, and then once you've got that, that becomes your X. Your class center is your X, not your class. Can't do anything with your class. Okay. Measures of central tendency. Okay, 3. So find the mean, mode, and median for each of the following. So now done in a different way, done using, column graphs or frequency histograms or stem and leaf plots, back-to-back dot plots even, and back-to-back stem and leaf plots, dot plots. Okay, so just apply it in a different way. Mode, what's the most occurring number?
8 and 10.
Yes, you have to write that. If you write just 8, you don't get marks, so it's 8 and 10. Okay, median. Well, this is the way I do it for a question like this. I go, okay, I'm going to cross out 3 numbers here. 3 numbers. It's up to you, by the way. You could have listed these. I just think, a more professional way would be what I'm about to show you. 3, cross out 3 numbers. Cross out 3 numbers from 4. How many numbers are left?
1.
1. Right, so I would remember 1. 1 number here. Now you cross out 1 number here with 1 number here. How many is left?
5.
I would cross out 5 numbers here. I would cross out 5 numbers here.
And then 1's left.
1. You'll cross out 1 number here. You'll cross out 1 number here. How many numbers are left? You obviously have 4 left here. The median will be any of these 4 numbers, which is just 9.
Yeah.
Did everybody understand how I did that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So technically, I'm doing this. 7, 7, 7. There's 3 7s. There's 6 8s. 8, 8, 8, 4, 5, 6. There's 9, 5 9s, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. 10 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. and then there's 4 11s. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Gosh, all right. And I'm going, okay, well, instead of me doing what I just did, what I can do is cross out these 3, cross out these 3. Cross out 1, cross out 1. Cross out 5, cross out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cross out 1, cross out 1. I'm left with the 4 9s. So I'm doing it the exact same way, just, in a histogram, I guess. Okay, so that'll be the most professional way. Mean, well, you already know the score, you know the frequency, so you'll just go and plug it into your calculator using the X and the frequency column, and you'll get an answer, which I'm sure we're not worried about. Mean, how do we read these numbers? 12,
12.
yeah, 23, and so on. What's your mode? Most occurring to me looks like it's 47.
Yeah.
And then what's the median? I do it exactly the same way, girls. So I'm just going to go and cross out 1, cross out 1. Smallest, highest. All right, don't forget that. Smallest 3, highest 3. Do we get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highest 2, lowest 2. Lowest 3, highest 3. And then, of course, you're down to these numbers, which is, really easy. 1, 2, 1, 2, you're done. How quick was that? You can't really do it much faster than that. Even me. There's no way I'll be able to do it any faster than what I just showed you. So that's it. It's done like that. Same thing. I think everything's easy. The mode looks like it's 16 and 21 again. So you got to write that. But mean, easy. It's just 16 times 5, or 16 plus 16 plus 16, or you use your calculator. Score is 16, frequency is 5, and let your calculator just do it for you. Your median, cross out the 5, cross out the 5, cross out the 3, cross out the 3. Well, the median is definitely 18.
Yeah.
Easy. There is no 19, so you don't even worry about it. Don't let that confuse you. Doesn't even exist. Ooh, okay. Cumulative frequency. Careful. All right. Okay. Let's work out the frequencies for each one. I think that would help. What's your frequency here? Well, that was 5, so your frequency is 3. What was your frequency of 5? How many 5s did you have?
Is it 2?
Yeah, because there's a cumulative frequency of 5. That means 3 plus something gives you 5. So there's two.
I did this on Friday, actually.
Sorry?
I did this exact thing on Friday. Like, we had to find out the frequency from the cumulative frequency graph.
Well, this is pretty much, if I'm going through it, it's pretty important as well. So if I'm going through it, it means it could be tested, especially this one here, because it's just a bit different.
Yeah.
5 to 8, there's 3, 7, 7, hold on, just to make sure, 7. Because you're getting the same thing, there's nothing that occurred. Yeah, you're right, I'm just making sure. 9, 10 is 2, and then 10 to 14, looks like there's 4. So which one occurred the most? Obviously 9. Some students see it as the gap. This has the largest gap, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So you can look at it like that.
Yeah.
Median, which one's your middle number? Well, the way you look at it is you've already got your cumulative frequency, which is 14, right? We said to do our median, given cumulative frequency, you do 14 divided by 2, which is the 7th score. So 7, 8, 10, 9, 8, 7, go across. Obviously, I think we all know the median is 6. And then the mean, of course, now you know already, you needed to find the frequency to find mean, just so you know. You need to go 4 occurred 3 times, 5 occurred twice, 6 occurred 3 times, 8 occurred twice, 9 occurred 4 times, plug it into your calculator, and happy days. Okay, spread. So important to know the words, because there will be some theory that's asked at the end of the exam. Now for this, these are for central tendencies. So to find the center and to find the middle and so on. Your central tendencies are mean, median, mode. 3 M's. To find spread, it's about range and quartiles. Spread 1. So spread is about the range and standard deviation actually as well. So there's 3 of them as well. Range. How do we find range?
Highest minus lowest.
Highest minus lowest. So if I had a question like this, what's the highest number? Looks like it's 18. What's the lowest number?
-8.
So what's my range? Highest minus lowest, like that?
Minus -8.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
18 minus, and then that's a negative, so that becomes plus.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with that. So your range is actually 26.
Would you have to put it in brackets? Like if you were doing it on the calculator, you'd put it -8 in brackets?
No, I would just put this in my calculator, literally. 18, 2 minuses, and then an 8. I don't even write a negative. Just put 18 minus -8. Try it out.
Okay.
What does your calculator say? Should just say 26.
18. Oh, not 48. 18.
Minus.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we've got this one to find the median, the lower quartile, the upper quartile, and the interquartile range. So upper quartile is what's called Q3. Lower quartile is called Q1. I think we learned just before. Our calculator can do this for us. And interquartile range. So it's not range, it's the interquartile range, which is just Q3 minus Q1.
Yeah.
So that's easy. But your calculator can do this for you. In fact, let's learn it from our calculator first for this first one, and the second one I'll just do manually. So what we didn't do is reset our calculator. So to reset our calculator all the time, right? It's always going to be this. Shift, press 9, read what's on top of the 9, it says clear, right? You're clearing your calculator. It says what do you want to clear? The setup, the memory, or all of it. Always go for all. 3, and then you just press equals, and then happy days. What you should see on top is it's back to math mode.
Yeah.
Are we all back to math? Okay, let's get it back to stat, because we're trying to do these quartiles. So we press mode to AC. Mode to AC. We should all see stat now.
Yeah.
Press shift 1. We're going to put in our data. There is no frequency column because we don't need frequency. It's just a few numbers. So press 2 for data. You should only see X. Put in the data. Let me know if you're not here up to this stage right now.
Can I just put it in like any order, or does it have to be ascending?
No, any order. Any order. The calculator will do it all for you.
Okay. Okay.
All right. And then once you've got that, press AC. And if we've done it right, we're going to press shift 1, and we're going to press 5, and then we're going to go for, it says median. We're going to press 4 for median. Press equals. What's the
10.
median?
10.
10. All right. Alyssa, what'd you get for low and upper quartile? So again, press AC, shift 1, press 4. Sorry, not all 4. Shift 1, press 5, and then press 3 for Q1.
Wait, my calculator's doing that thing where you can't see it. I just need to hit it a few times.
Okay, hit it at the back. Your battery is dying.
How do you change that? Because it always does it, and then I'm getting.
I could
So I just get a new calculator.
No, I could change it for you. It's just a AAA battery. But you've got to. It's just at the back. You see, there's a little bump on the top.
Oh yeah.
So you got to unscrew all those 6 screws.
Oh, okay.
And it's just a AAA battery.
So it was AC.
So where are you up to? You've already put all your data in, yeah? So press AC, you're back to nothing. You should see 0 and stat only, and D.
Mm-hmm.
Now press Shift 1, 5, and then press 3 equals.
I kept getting math error.
Have you put in all your data?
I did, but do you have to press something after so it saves, or
So,
does it just save?
well, let's see. Press AC. Press AC. We'll find out. Press Shift 1, and then press 2. What do you see?
Nothing.
But do you see an X column? But then, and then there's nothing else there.
No, I don't see anything.
Wait, are you in stat mode? Does the top of your calculator say stat?
Yeah, it says that.
Okay, wait, and then press Shift 1, and then read the words that you see.
Shift 1. I see type, data, sum, var,
Okay.
and min max.
Yeah, perfect. So press 2 for data, and then what do you get when you press 2?
Ah, table. Yeah, I got that before and already put the numbers in.
And what number are your numbers there right now? Like 16.
No.
Okay.
Do
well,
I have to save them, or like do I just press
as
AC?
soon as you, I'll do it now with you. Press 16 for the first one, and then press equals, and then go down. Then put 10. Just do that. And then your last number is obviously going to be 11, and that'll be the 7th score. Just confirm that, and then I'll tell you what to do once you've done that.
So I did put them in, but
Yeah, well, don't worry.
11, yeah.
Okay, now press AC.
Yes.
Gone. True? Everything's gone.
Yes.
But it's actually stored, and let's make sure. Shift 1, press 2. Is everything still there?
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. Now press AC again. So you got to remember the AC button. Really
Is there a
important.
difference if you press the on button instead?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's why.
Okay, not on. On
AC.
clears everything weirdly.
Oh, okay. Because when I normally use my calculator at school, I normally press just on, not AC.
There's a habit that's got to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be AC. That's okay. So Shift 1 now, and then press 5, and then press 3 for Q1, which is the lower quartile. Press equals. What do you get?
I press Q3.
Yeah, you can press Q3.
Okay, I got says 12.
12, and then do the same thing and find Q1.
Fifth one. Eight.
Perfect. Easy.
Yeah, I get it.
And then interquartile range, your IQR is just your Q3, 12, take weight 8, which is 4. So your calculator can do it for you. Anyone else that's not able to do that? Karina, are you okay with that as well? Kara, Dahlia, all good?
Yeah, all good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you could do it with your calculator. I mean, no issues at all. Or you could do it manually. Manually would look like this. To find your median, you know that we have to put them in order from smallest to largest. So 4, 10, 10, 13, 15. I know we get this, but I've just got to do it. 13, 15, 19, 23, 20, 19, 23, 28. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to cross out these 3. We're going to cross out these 3. You're left with 13 and 15. That means your median must be 14. The reason why they must be in order, because when you're going to do your quartiles, they have to be in order. And the way that it works is you have to break up your group into 2 groups. And if you actually had a median, so imagine this was not 8 numbers, it was actually 9 numbers, so the median would have been like, let's just say 15, then you ignore it. So if your median's there, ignore it. If your median's not there, perfect, you should be able to just get 2 groups. So that's group 1, and that's group 2. All right. And then to find your lower quartile, it would just be midway or halfway or average, however you want to say it, midway of the first group. Q1. So cross it out, halfway of 10 and 10 is just 10. The other one, midway for Q3 will be the yellow. So that one would be cross, halfway of 19 and 23, 21. Yeah, pretty sure it's 21.
Yeah.
Interquartile range, 21 minus 10, 11. Any questions?
No.
No. Okay. A set of scores has a range of 12, an interquartile range of 6, and an upper quartile of 11. So you already know Q3 is 11, and it's saying the interquartile range is 6. Well, you know that, find the lower quartile. Well, you know 11 minus the lower quartile has to get you 6. Obviously, just from observation, what is Q1 equal to?
5.
5. 11 take away 5 is 6. I mean, or you could have solved. If the smallest score is 6, what is the largest score? The smallest score is 6. What must be the largest score?
Well, the range is 12, so that was highest minus lowest.
Yep.
So, it's just plus 6, so it's 18. No.
18 take away 6 is 12.
Yeah.
Exactly what you needed. Just be aware of it. There will be questions that obviously, as always, we spoke about that in algebra. I said, whatever you learn forwards, they will also test it backwards.
Yeah.
So you've got to know it both forwards and backwards. It's annoying like that, I know. All right. Same thing. And we do it again. Range, highest score, take away lowest score, 4. 10, take away 6. Median, your median is your cross out the first 3, cross out the last 3. Cross out the next 1, cross out the next 1, cross out 1 more, cross out 1 more, cross out 1, 1. Your median is 9.
Mm-hmm.
Interquartile range. Interquartile range, get rid of all that. And we have to split this thing up into 2 groups. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 2 groups means 7 on this side, 7 on this side. And then you ignore one of the 9s. Cool, because that's the median. So 7 on this side, and then the other 7 on this side. Yes?
Yeah.
And then we find the median of these 2. Well, of course, the upper quartile, Q3, I think it's pretty obvious what it would be. It would be 10.
Mm-hmm.
Your lower quartile would be cross out the 1, cross out the 6, cross out or the 9, cross out 2 of the 8s, cross out 2 of the 6s, you're left with a 7. Q1 is 7. So IQR is 10 take away 7, which is 3.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it's pretty repetitive. If you know what you're doing with like the range is just crossing out smallest to largest and 2 groups and whatever, it gets pretty repetitive. Before I do B, I just want to I'll do one more. This is exactly the same, so I'm not going to do it again. But we'll just do D. Find the range. Range is 79, highest number minus your lowest number, which is 30. The answer is 49. Median, highest minus lowest. Highest 2, lowest 2. Highest, let's just say highest 2, lowest 2. Lowest 1, highest 1. So the number must be 52.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, you now know your group. Your group Q3 is up here. Your group Q1 is there. And then cross out until you get to the middle. So the middle looks like this. cross, 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 cross. You're in between. So Q1 is between 35 and 45. So what's that? 80 divided by 2 is 40. Q3. Q3. Cross out the 9, cross out this 54. Cross out this 61, cross out this 56. Q3 is between 57 and 61. Again, divided by 2. That's what? 118. 57 plus 61. 59. And therefore, IQR equals 59 take away 40, which is 19. All right. Any questions there?
Nope.
Brilliant. Last one, tricky one. It is a little bit of a tricky one. Frequency is easy, right? That's nothing. That's just like these ones, or these ones. Cumulative frequency, you've got to understand them very well. Remember, these are accumulating, right? So your range again, your highest score minus your lowest score, 16 take away 11, that's easy, 5. Median, all right, to find my median, using the cumulative frequency, I look at this score, it's 20. I do 20 divided by 2, that gives me the 10th score. I go down to 10, I go across, 10th score is 14, so the median is 14. Okay, and listen up real careful here, interquartile range. Well, the Q1 and Q3, they're quarters, right? So the first quarter is what's called 25%. The third quarter is also the 75% mark, where the median is the 50% mark. That's why we're just dividing it by 2. So Q1, the 25% mark, is where the 5 would occur. Okay, so 10 divided by 2 is 5. Do we get that? So this is 50%, and then we want to find 25%. So what do? Just half that again, which is at 5. Now, because it touches here, it's in between 12 and 13. That's that case that I was just talking about above. See how there's 20 numbers? When you're going to divide it by 2, there's going to be some stuff. And then obviously there's 2, again, you're going to break up into 2 groups. And then this group only has 10 numbers and this group has 10 numbers. And out of those 2 groups, you hit the line, which is here. So that's actually 12 and a half. And does anyone know how to find Q3, the 75% mark, or where that would be?
Isn't that at the 15?
And why? Why'd you say that?
Is this 25% above 50?
Yeah, that's how I do it. So I do this number. So first I do 20 divided by 2. That gets me 50%. So now I got my median. Then I personally halve that again. I found my Q1. 25%. Then I add 5 with 10. That gets me 15, which is my 75% mark now.
Yeah.
So I first find these 2, then I go find 75, go across. Hits the line at 16, so Q3 is 16. Interquartile range is 16, take away 12 and a half. So already, by everything we've just done, you know which one I want you to focus on. It's cumulative frequency, histograms. The rest, I mean, you will pick up on it. They're not too complicated. This one here, no, it's a little bit trickier because you've got to understand how cumulative frequency works compared to just the frequency. All right.
This is actually my next lesson. This is tomorrow's lesson, what you're teaching now.
Oh,
I've just checked my book.
aren't you lucky?
So,
All right, look at that. Use your calculator to find the mean and the sample standard deviation. Oh, I didn't think that was part of the syllabus, which I don't think it is. I think they're just making you do it just so you can understand to find S compared to the population. But this one does say sample, which I think was number 4. and then population was number 3. But that's just all calculator work. I think we're pretty straightforward. I don't really want to do that. I'd rather do questions like this because that's what you'll get in your exam. All right, question 3 we will do. So please find the mean, and see when it says standard deviation, we don't mean this one. So we don't mean sample. We mean the population. So we mean this one here. So please find the mean and standard deviation for these sets of scores. Make sure you're in stat mode, and if you've already put data in from before, then make sure you override it with your new data. You've got to do it twice. So just do it once for science, get the 2 things for science, and then again, go ahead and do it for math. Actually, you know what I'm going to show you to make it a little bit faster because I think you girls deserve it. I'm going to show you a way to put in both at the same time instead of doing it one at a time. All right? Let's see this. Let's see. We press. Okay, so go mode 2. Now, I usually said press AC there, right? Don't press AC yet. Press 2 again. What do you see?
X and Y table.
This would be your X, this would be your Y.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. Alyssa, Cara, Dahlia, Karina, all good?
Yep.
That becomes your X, this becomes your Y. So now you're doing it for 2 things. So now put all your X's in like this, put all your Y's in like this. And if you ever want to go back, the easiest way is just to reset your calculator and start from the beginning. There, cool. Do that. A bit of a cheat. I shouldn't show you that, but who will ever know?
And then I'm guessing ACs after that, once you put them in.
Well, once you put everything in, yes, press AC. And then, hold on, I didn't actually put my ones in. I was just making sure you guys are put 70.
Wait, Sam, how do I get
Yeah.
rid of my other table that's in here?
So, wait, what happened? You should have, let me make sure. So, what do you see right now?
Like a table that already has the numbers but not the right ones.
Okay, so the ones that you put in before, is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Yeah. So I
Mm.
clear my whole calculator, but do I have
Yeah,
to
why not? Press Shift 9, 3 equals.
Yeah.
Okay,
So now I need to go do stat again.
now press Mode 2,
Yeah.
and then press 2 again.
Yeah.
Now you should see the XY.
Yeah.
All right.
And then do we press AC?
Okay, so you've put everything in.
Yeah.
Press AC. Let's make sure everything's. Oh, mine got cleared because I was doing it with you as well. All right, all good. So just to make sure it's all in there, press AC. It's all gone. Press Shift 1. Press 2 for data. Do you see everything in there still?
Yeah.
All right, press AC again.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to try to set mine up again, just to make sure you guys are all done. I want to make sure it's okay. All right, I don't need it, but if you guys have all done it right, we should be able to do this. So if we're all at AC, we press Shift 1. We press obviously 4 for var. Now, if you press 2,
That
it obviously says average of your x's. If you look at 5, 5 is average of your y's, which is mathematics.
Yeah.
If you look at 3, 3 standard deviation of your x's. If you look at 6, 6 is standard deviation of your y's. So pretty much press all that and give me some numbers so we can make sure everybody's got the right.
Well, I got the mean for science,
Is
61.8.
60.8?
61.8.
Yep.
And then shift 1.
Yeah, and I got for math 78.6.
78.6, perfect. And then, so everyone's confirming so far? We're all
Yeah.
happy with that? Yeah, that's good.
And standard deviation for science, it comes up with like 4 point for
Yeah.
all these numbers. So do I just
Just give us like 2 decimal places.
4.62?
Yep. And then, for y now,
I got 5.57.
5.57. Okay. Cool. Easy. So that's just a bit of a quicker way of doing it because you get to put both in at the same time. All right. If Matthew scored 65 in science and 75 in mathematics, in which subject did he perform better than the class average? If Matthew scored 65 in science, where the class average is 61.8, 75 in mathematics, where the class average is 78.6, in which subject did he perform better than the class average? Science, obviously.
Yeah.
That's easy. Oh, yes, that's the word I like. All right, go ahead. So, wait. Obviously, you're going to start again. So there's 2 things you could do. You could either press Shift 1, press 2 for data, and just override all of your old data with your new data, or you could actually start fresh. So you press clear and then go all again. You pick whatever you feel comfortable with. Either overwrite all of your previous data, or start fresh and clear everything and then go again. So that's your X and that's your Y. Up to you. Whatever you're feeling comfortable with, go ahead and do that. And once you have answers, shoot them out so we can have them here.
So for Tim, for the mean, I got 14.
Tim, 14.
Yeah. And then the standard deviation for Tim, I got 2.97.
Yep. 2.97.
For Elizabeth, I got, for the mean, I
Yep.
got 12.1.
12.1.
And then for the standard deviation for Elizabeth, I got 4.67.
Standard deviation of 4.67.
Yeah.
Okay. Which person had the most consistent results? So I picked this on purpose. We understand mean. Does anyone know or remember what standard deviation meant? No.
Isn't it just the spread?
Yes.
Like,
What does that mean?
so like how far apart or like really close they are?
Yeah, I'll accept that. Spread. So standard deviation is your spread. In fact, standard deviation is how far from the average
Yes.
you are. So you're very close, yeah. So this average of 14, average of 12.1. Standard deviation is 4.67, so it's larger than your average of 2.97. So the person who had the most consistent results would have been Tim, because he's got a smaller standard deviation, meaning that he was more consistent. He consistently got the same scores.
Yeah.
You can kind of see that. See, Elizabeth got a 3 here, which is a lot lower than her usual scores of 15, 16, 19, let's say. Whereas Tim's lowest score was like an 8. He was a little bit more consistent. Otherwise, everything else was 10, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, whatever. So Tim, since his standard deviation is smaller, less spread away from mean or average, meaning that you're more consistent. Does that make sense? I can almost say this with 100% certainty, will be in your exam. 100% will be in your exam. Okay. Outliers. What do they mean again?
It's like there's like a bunch of scores and then there's just like one number that's just really, really large or really, really low.
Yeah, pretty much an outsider.
Yeah.
Something really, really weird because like maybe someone just put it in wrong. So like if you're doing data entry, let's say in accounting, you might be putting in, you might be going through a bank statement and you put $29 and then $36 and then $4.50 and then $58 and then $956. And then the idea is if it's usually been like within the hundreds, this one here was probably a mistake. It was probably meant to be a 95.6. And it was just a mistake and this would be the outlier that would be picked up and then they'll go in and fix it up and then realize, oh, that was meant to be 95.6. Okay, so that's an outlier, really, really large, really, really small. Use this set of scores to find the lower quartile. So here we go. We've got to find the lower quartile has to be in order, or you plug it into your calculator. You've got to work out what option you're going to take all the time. For me, if it's small like this, I usually would just draw them out. All right, quartiles. We find the middle, which is right there. We ignore the middle and create two groups. That's group 1. It's group 2. Then you find the middle of those two groups. So QL or Q1 is 9. Upper quartile or Q3 is 19. Interquartile range, 19 take away 9 is 10. Explain why 8 is not an outlier. It's fairly consistent with the other scores. Close to other scores. Explain why 36 is an outlier. Very far away from other scores. Simple. There is a proper way of finding outliers.
Yeah, I did it actually in class.
Yeah, so there is a proper way of finding outliers, and I think
In 1 point something, or I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just want to see, is that what it's asking me to do here? I believe so. Number B is the same, as you can see. Explain why 4 is an outlier and explain why 65 is not. So that's easy. Yeah, Is 206 an outlier? Justify your answer with calculation. So that's the one. So there is a way of calculating outliers. I haven't memorized the formula for this, so we've got to go to our good friends here. Reference sheet, standard math. And read the reference sheet. So the reference sheet has this. There it is. An outlier is a score less than Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. So what we can do, we can write that down somewhere. Yeah. Get rid of this. Outlier is a score less than Q1 minus 1.75 of IQR. Is that what it was? No, 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
1.5 of IQR or greater than.
And then it was just
three.
plus 1
Yeah.
instead.
Or more than Q3 plus 1.5 of IQR.
Yeah.
Okay, so an outlier is only an outlier if it's a score less than Q1 minus 1.5 of IQR, or if it's more than Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. Girls, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when we're doing question 2, it says justify your answer with calculations with 206. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's go and plug all this into our calculator to find Q1 and Q3. I'm not going to go find the mean and median. We don't need that. So let's find Q1, let's find Q3, and let's find IQR. So how to do that? We've got to clear our calculator. That's what I'm going to do, and start again with this is just one letter, just X. So mode. If you did have X and Y, you can completely ignore the Y column and just do it for the X's, and that will work fine as well, just so you know. You didn't have to actually clear it all. But anyway, 64, 110, 108, 87, 58, 206, 89, 93, 38, 66, 93, and 104. Press AC, then shift 1. I press 5, I press 3. I got Q1 as 65. Let me know if you can't get that. Shift 1, 5. I got 106 for this one here. And then IQR becomes 41. I'll just pause there. Any questions?
No.
Alyssa, you're able to get that out as well?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. And then the question just says, is 206 an outlier? And the condition was, it's only an outlier if it's less than this, which is not for us because we know we're going to use Q3. So it's this one. If it's more than Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. Okay, Q3 plus 1.5 of IQR. Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. So what's that? That is 1.5 times 41 plus 106. It's 167.5. Is it an outlier? Yes. Since greater than 167.5. Since 206 is greater than 167.5. Cool?
Yeah.
And then the question says, if the outlier was excluded, what's the impact on the average and the median? Well, I'm assuming the average would definitely do what? Straight away, what do you think? Go up, go down, stay the same?
Decrease.
Decrease, right? The average will get smaller because you've got a larger number that you just removed.
Yeah.
And then what would happen to your median? I think your median would have been, it looks like your median would have been like around the 89 or something like that from the numbers I can see. And if that was removed, then I believe your, just without doing the math, I believe it would have, no, I just got to do it. I'm just going to make it up. It's almost a 50-50 guess. It's obviously going to change. It's just, let's see, cross out the smallest, cross out the largest, cross out the smallest, cross out the largest, cross out the smallest, cross out the largest, cross out, I think that was the second smallest, but anyways, cross out the smallest, cross out the largest. So I'm left with 89 and 93, which is 91 now and before. Before you would have probably had, oh crap, I didn't see the 87. Cross out this, is actually 89.
Yeah.
And then before would have been 1, 2, 3, 4 with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 87 with 93, and then it would have been what I just said, 91. So it would have decreased. Fair enough. Both decreased. Okay. And then we've got this one here. Explain why 67 is an outlier. I'm guessing because it would have been less than, this one here. Less than Q1 minus 1.5 IQR.
Yeah.
So that's that. Easy. Okay, so here, the ages of 4 generations of people in a family photo are recorded, 26, 23, 2, 89, 56, 48, 22. Show that there are no outliers. The outliers could have been the 2 and the 89, but I'm guessing that would not be less than the Q1.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then 89 would not be greater than the Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. Which is pretty interesting because it looks like the 2 would be an outlier. But
Yeah,
I
that's what I thought.
But I guess there's so many numbers that are lower, like 20, 20, and 20, and there's like 1 or 2 high ones that it almost offsets each other. That's pretty interesting to look into. But it looks like there are no outliers. It says that, so interesting. Okay. Are we reaching the end of this, or is anyone want to just make sure? So skewness. So still skewness. And then comparing.
Sam.
Box and whisker. Yeah.
Is there a way to do standard deviation without the calculator, or is it only calculator?
But it's not going to be assessed.
Oh, okay.
But there is. Do you want me to show it to you?
Yeah.
The only way, it's not simple, but the only way, let me make sure it's not in the syllabus before I do say it's not, because I'm pretty sure it's not. Yeah, no, they've only made that one page now, isn't it? Yeah.
Because I'm sure I will forget the whole steps to do the table and everything, knowing me.
Oh, that's what you mean. No, then no, you have to do it by a calculator.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
The other way, the algebraic way is very long.
Mm-hmm.
It's the square root of x minus x. It's each score, take away the average squared, divided by n, the number of scores, and you got to sum it for each one that you do. So
Oh goodness.
it's too impossible for you guys to do. But if they give it to you and they do a step by step, I mean, it's possible. But no, not in the syllabus, like I said. Not even in advanced. They don't have to do that in advance. It's all just done in the calculator.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Okay. But yeah, no, you've got to remember it. The steps. They're not hard. Shift mode. If you press shift mode by accident, you realize, oh, that's not what I wanted. Then you press mode and you're like, all right, 2 for stat. Press AC. And then, you know, shift 1. And if it's data, if it's not what you want, if you wanted frequency, you just go press shift mode, press down. You'll learn it. Believe me. I can tell you this. If you spend like 10 minutes on it just tonight to go through and press everything and learn where everything is, you'll learn it. It's there forever.
Yeah.
It will be that quick. You can type without looking at the keyboard, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing. You practice so many times that you can able to do that. Same thing.
Yeah, I was so slow in primary school. Oh my god.
No, it's fine. But you got it. That's the idea. All right.
Yeah.
Shape, skewness. So these ones here, it's about what is called, what is named skewness or skewed, if it's smooth or skewed. So the idea is if you've got something that looks like this would be smooth or symmetrical. And if you've got something that is more like this, or the other way around, this would be skewed in one way or the other. Now, you've got to remember it. This one here is skewed to the right. This one here is skewed to the left. Now it's tricky because I think a lot of students tend to focus on this bump. You're like, but that's to the left, so it's skewed to the left. You're like, no, but it doesn't work like that. It's all about the tail. The tail is to the right, and it's called skewed to the right. The tail is to the left, it's called skewed to the left. Does that make sense? Otherwise, it's just symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, there's 2 modes. So it says how many modes are there? There's 2. This is called bimodal. Bicycle, 2. So 2 modes, bimodal. This here would look like this. So this would be skewed to the right. Skewed to right. This one here. Symmetrical. Okay, even from a stem and leaf plot, I'm not going to do it for these numbers because it's easy. But let's just say you had your numbers. I'll just do it as a dot plot because it'll look the same. All right, that one there. Obviously, you can tell that one is
symmetrical.
It's symmetrical, right? What if I changed it up and I did this? That one would be, look, the bumps here and then small tail there. So tilt your head to the right, and you could probably see that one. The tail is this way, so that is skewed to the right.
Yeah.
Girls, that makes sense? Because this would be a bit new for you, Dahlia and Cara and stuff. Is this all good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karina, that makes sense as well?
She's here.
She's not here? I think she might have left.
Yeah, I think she left.
Yeah, she's got work to go to. Does the shape of the display indicate any skewness? Yeah, whatever. What conclusions do you mean? Easy. Okay, box and whisker plots.
Oh, I did that.
Also easy. So there's whiskers. Your whiskers are Q1. No. Your
No,
whiskers are
blah.
lowest
Yeah,
and highest. Then you've got your box.
yeah.
And this number here is your Q1. This number here is your median. And this number here is your Q3. And then same thing, briefly comment on the shape and skewness. Well, it just depends. The one I drew is obviously symmetrical. But if it looked like this, what would you say? Skewed to the right or skewed to the left? Bump. That's the bump, and that goes away. So this will be
Yeah, I was gonna say.
skewed to the right. And then obviously the other way around will be skewed to the left.
Yeah.
What conclusions, if any, can be made about the growth of the plants? Well, imagine it was skewed like this. That means my plants are not growing very well. You know, if my highest plant was, let's say 100 centimeters, and all my numbers around down here, it doesn't look like my plant's doing very well. Does that make sense? Because they're all clustered to the left.
Yeah.
That's how you read skewed to the right. It means that you've got more lower numbers, and vice versa. If it was skewed to the left, it means actually my plants are doing really well. Like my fertilizer I've used, or the water I've used, or whatever I've done, it's working, because all of them are growing really big. If that's what I wanted, if I wanted really big trees, by the way, if I actually wanted really small trees, then this is actually working.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? So it depends on the context of what you're trying to do. Do you want high? Do you want low? And assuming performance of the seedlings and growth of plants, you obviously want bigger plants. You want higher plants and so on. Okay, this one, skew to the right, skew to the left, symmetrical. Skewed.
Left. Yeah.
Right, skewed to the left. How many modes are there? 1, 2, so 2 modes. In other words, it's called bimodal. Doesn't mean anything, to be honest with you. It's just something fancy they like to put in for the syllabus. Bimodal doesn't do nothing, doesn't mean anything. Kind of useless, to be honest with you. But anyways, what other information, if any, can you gain about the test? A lot of people did well. Can we see that?
Yeah.
Most did fairly well. Roughly the same scores, whatever this would have been. Yeah, so good score. But if a lot of people did well, then does that mean it was an easy exam? Possibly. So the shape we always want from any test or anything in theory, I guess, is for it to be like this.
Yeah.
For it to be symmetrical. We want a lot of people to be in the average. Well, most people to be in the average. We want only a small percentage on the high end. We want only a small percentage on the low end. And that's how your HSE marks are calculated, actually. Only a small percentage at the end, a small percentage at the middle, at the bottom, and then everybody else is right in the middle. Okay. All right. Comparing distributions. Yeah, that's a good exercise. I would like to get back to this one. Just to finish these off. Find the 5-number summary. 5-number summary is just your box and whisker plot. See how you guys think that there's so much to learn, but they're actually the same thing. So your 5-number summary is everything you need for your box and whisker plot. So that's your lowest, your highest, Q1, median, and your Q3. 5 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you know your 5 number, you can draw your box and whisker plot. Now, there's 2 of them, Class A and Class B. All you will do, you just draw one on top of the other. So it looks something like this. The highest score in Class B was this. The highest score in Class lowest, highest, and B. The highest score in Class A was this, and the lowest score in Class A was this. And I think you get the idea. And then which class spends more time on homework? From what I've drawn, it looks like this guy's do.
Doing good.
Because there's more of them. It's not about they got a higher number here. There's more of them here that were to the right. They did more hours, let's say.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about these lower people. All right. Anyways, I want to do these as well. Just want to make sure this is out of the way. Make sure we're not missing anything. That's the same thing. Just more applied. Good. So technically done. It's just the application of them now, which I do want to spend a bit of time on, which is good. Oops. So let's look at. There's a question 2. That pretty much covers everything I would want to talk about. A survey was conducted into the heights of group of students. The results are displayed in the stem and leaf plot. Don't forget, the way we read this is 149, and this is 143, 145, 146, and so on. Okay. Use both sides of the display to compare the range, median, interquartile, modality, and skewness. So let's start with range first. What's the range for the males?
185.
Minus 149.
Yeah.
$185, take away 149, 36. And what is it for females? 181 minus 140.
Yeah.
Median. Find the median for males. Here we go. Male. Cross out the 3. Cross out 1, 2, 3. Cross out 3. Cross out 1, 2, 3. Cross out 3. Cross out 3. Your median is between 171 and 173, which is 172. Females. Cross out maybe 5. Oops, very bad. Because if you're going this way, you're going highest number, right? The highest number is 166, and then 161, and then 160. So what I'm going to do to avoid that, I'm going to cross out 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that just worked out well. 6, 6. All right, cross out 2 largest, 2 smallest, 1, 1. I think we know the answer.
Yeah.
154. Okay, interquartile range. Yeah, no. Interquartile range is split up into 2 groups. So This is group 1, this is group 2. And we do it again. So, and then same thing for females, 154. So this will be group 1, the rest will be group 2. All right, let's do males first. Males, cross out 3, cross out lowest 3. This or this, you're left with 177.5.
Yeah.
So 177.5 minus, do the same thing again. Cross out 1, 2, 3, cross out 1, 2, 3, cross out 1, cross out 1. Nope, I did a mistake.
Yeah, I was gonna say again.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Cross out the 8, cross out the 3, 161.
Yeah.
That gives you male interquartile range, and then we'll do female. It's not hard, it's just time consuming and a lot of room for error, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Lowest is highest would be 166. Lowest would be 151. There goes a mark. And the lowest students have gone for 160. And then it's between 160 and 161, which is 160.5. Minus. Highest number here would be 158. With lowest number here would be 143 and 145. Next highest two would be these two. Next lowest two would be these two. So you're between 148 and 149, which is 148.5. So I can definitely see some serious mistakes happening here, which means you will have to focus on this as well. Interquartile range is 16.5 and 12. Modality. Modality is what? What does it sound like?
The mode?
Mode.
Yeah.
So is it bimodal or is it just a single mode? The mode for the boys is 176, 163. So that's bimodal. So for the male, bimodal. Any repetition here? Yep, right there. For the females, it's just normal. I think it's called unimodal. Unimodal. Just means one. Skewness. Okay, this one here. Oh, that's a really bad one. But anyways. Males, what is it going to be? Skewed to the left, skewed to the right?
Yeah. Left. And then females is true. Oh wait. Oh. Right.
You said that.
Other way around. Wait, I don't know.
It's actually funny, isn't it? Females.
I know where they're pointing, but I just don't know which one it is.
So this one here, when you actually draw this, the way I drew it, it does look like it's to the left. This one here also looks like it's to the left, depending on the way you've tilted your head. That's weird. Never thought of it like that. Give me a second. Let's confirm the answer to that one. Unless I'm meant to think of this as skewed to the right, so it's the opposite for the left-hand side. Question, page 153. Page 153. Which question were we doing? I think it was question 2. Unimodal and bimodal. Positively, female scores are positively skewed and male scores are negative. So male scores are left, but the female scores are to the right. Yeah, so they're the opposite, which is what I would have assumed. Knowing that would not make sense. Fair enough. So let's have a look at that again. So, yeah, because these are the other way around, like it's usually meant to be you're tilting your head to the right, and that would be to the left, and that was right. These ones here for females, because it's the other way around, it's actually, you know, I know this looks like this, which looks like it's going to the left. The truth is, because it's the other way around, it's actually looking like this, technically.
Okay.
So it's a weird one. The only way I can say it is, I mean, other than you obviously know the high numbers are clustered at the end here, and you realize this is definitely to the left. These numbers are clustered to the bottom scores, which you know that, you know. Wait, did I just confuse myself? High numbers to the right, to the left. High numbers to the right, that's still to the left. No, but that's not the way. That's not the way you look at it. That's why I was wrong the first time. Hold on. This one's definitely right. I know that. It's not an issue. It's really bad. Ugh. That's fine. This one. It's meant to be like this. And the reason why I would look like that is because as I flip this to this side, it will look like this. Yes. Okay, perfect. Thought so. Okay, so this. The only reason why we're using a back-to-back stem and leaf plot in the first place is because it's just easier to read, right? Like you can read them as 149 and 143 and so on. But the idea is it's only the right-hand side that is read properly. Your left-hand side is a mirror image. And that's why sometimes, you know, as I was reading this, I was reading as the smallest number, and I was going like it down here, because usually, well, the largest number I was going down here, but the truth is the smallest number is down here, 151. So it's a mirror image, you got to not confuse that. But if I was to flip this about here, can you see how that actually looks like this now? For the females?
Yeah.
Just see that? If I was to flip this here, this would actually look like this, which would be actually to the right. And that's the way you're meant to look at it. Okay. Or you can just memorize your left hand back-to-back stem and leaf plots. Your left-hand side is the opposite of whatever you see.
Okay, yeah.
So if it's to the left, it's got to be to the right, and if it's to the right, it's got to be to the left, because these are read in the opposite way. So like if I was to read this number, the smallest number is read as 160, and then the largest number is 166, obviously. So as you're crossing out, you got to be careful to not go smallest number, you're going to do this, and then largest number, you're going to do that. That's wrong. It's meant to be smallest number, which would be this, largest number, which would be that, those two, for example. But the reason why I say you got to be careful, it seems obvious right now because I'm pointing it out. When you're doing it here, it's obvious because you're going straight. So your smallest number would be these, and your largest number would be this, because you can see it. There's no inverse. Whereas this, it's been literally inverted the other way around. I'm just going to be careful with that anyways. I think it's pretty obvious now that I've pointed that out.
Yeah.
Whereas something like this, no, it's pretty easy to identify. So like that and that are both the same thing. All good. So that's both the same thing. Both have skewness to the right.
Yeah.
Or if your teachers do use the word positive and negative, then right would be positive.
Yeah,
I think you would.
I think what my teacher said. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you mean. Right and left.
Yeah. Right is positive, and then left is negative.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. But I think in like statistics, when you're at university level, we usually use right and left. But anyways, whatever. Skew to the right, skew to the left, positive, negative, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay.